Welcome back to another episode of the Full Circle podcast, y'all. I'm back. What's up, Lexie?
She's back, everybody. Hey, girl. We missed you last week.
I missed you guys, too. I've had so much to yap about.
Yeah, because last week and this week. What's today? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
We're not even halfway through the week, and it's already been out of freaking control.
I get notifications for what's going on around the league, and last night my phone's like, ding, 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 ding. Like I was on vacation and ding, 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 ding. I'm like, dang, what's happening?
Exactly. That woke up this morning. What the hell is going on?
Well, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, I have a few trending topics that we're going to go through and talk about, starting with the notification from last night I got. Nisa Collier is out for 2 weeks with a right ankle sprain. The Lynx star and MVP contender will miss at least 2 weeks, which is putting pressure on Minnesota to maintain their top spot without her.
Well, we hate seeing people getting injured, but we play Minnesota tonight. So I'm like, you know what? Timing couldn't be better.
Give us a break.
Yeah, no, literally considering, what we're dealing with and going through as a team. Minnesota, they're a great team though. Like that's why they're number one, because they have a great team. As good as Fee has been playing, averaging 24, 8 and 4, shooting 54%. Like the way that team has been playing has been out of control. Like even watching film of them the last 2 days, I'm just like the way they move the ball, the way they find each other, the way they're all just connected offensively and defensively. They're a hard team to play. And K-Mac just won Player of the Week. She's averaging like 27 points, shooting over 60% from 3. So, just because Fee's out, that really doesn't mean anything. It's, these teams sometimes, like you don't want to say they're better without their star, but you really see what their team is made of when they got to make up for their star being out. So, it's going to be a great test for us, but vice versa, it's going to be a great test for them because our record is what it is, but we have the pieces, and we just 100%. Added more, which we'll get into. We'll get into that later.
Speaking of adding more pieces, so did Minnesota. DiJonai Carrington was traded to the Lynx. Minnesota acquired Carrington from the Wings in exchange for Diamond Miller, Carly Samuelson, and a 2027 second round pick. They're clearly in a win now type of mode in Minnesota, whereas Dallas seems to be focusing on long-term development. But shout out Paige. She lost both of her parents. I've been seeing all those edits.
Literally, they're gone. Paige is an orphan.
But what was your reaction to this trade?
Well, great move for Minnie. As amazing as their bench is, they could use a spark, and that's exactly what DiJonai is. Not saying that she couldn't handle her role as a starting scoring player, but we saw what she did in Connecticut, what she did for that team, almost helped them win a championship. She's just like really good at coming off the bench, providing energy, especially on the defensive end. She won Most Improved last year. She wasn't having a bad season by any means, averaging 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. So she was having a decent season in Dallas. But like you said, it looks like they're locking in to the development. And with the WNBA, it's like crazy. It's like you either are all in with veterans to win, or you like throw your whole season away to go young. Like there's no in between. And that's a WNBA league problem. That's a CBA problem. Like there's a lot of things that go into that. That's like a very layered issue that we have in our league. It's like you either keep your young players and you're not good, or you get rid of all your young players to have an older veteran-led team to try and compete for a championship. And there has to be a way where we find a happy medium, because there's too many young players losing their jobs, especially this season. And, I've always been a big advocate for not liking that. Like, I think, I was one of those players at one point, but thankfully, things worked out the way that they did. But I've been a victim of teams, going all in with their veterans and thinking that the young player, they're young, they'll be fine. Like they'll be able to, find their footing later. But that's not fair. And it's not good business. And these are still people at the end of the day. So great move for Minnie. Diamond Miller is not a bad addition to Dallas either. And I'm sure that she's excited to go to Dallas. She's definitely going to get on the floor. They waived Carly Samuelson. She's dealing with an injury. And then they also waived Tierra McCowan, which was shocking to me. But I told y'all, just because your contract is protected, that does not mean that you're going to have a job for the whole year.
No, you meant that, because I've been like, wow.
She's going to get her money, which is great, but she was on a protected deal and got waived. So don't know what Dallas is doing. Obviously, youth movement, but Minnesota is just got better. And again, like, you're just going to give a piece like that to the number one team in the league? Like, again, what? Like, what?
I don't know.
You're just going to help them?
I don't know what they've got going on. Let's just say, to keep things positive and not name names, I'll be watching them like somebody, there's some confusion happening. But who is not confused is Paige Beckers, who has repeated as Rookie of the Month. The Dallas Wings rookie continues to shine despite the team struggling, and she has earned back-to-back Rookie of the Month honors, which is impressive with, again, what they got going on.
Yeah, she will be Rookie of the Year. It was close for a little bit. It's not close at all anymore. She's averaging 19, 4, and 6, which puts her in top 10 in scoring in the entire league, which is so impressive. And despite them not winning a lot of games, she has that youth movement on her side as far as postseason awards and stuff like that. So Rookie of the Year is hers. Last time we played Dallas, they belt to us. So, I don't have anything crazy to say about the way they play because they're young. They're going to be up and down, up and down. Arike's finding her footing. We say that, Arike's having a down year. She's averaging 16 points. Like, that's like top scores for almost like half the team in the league right now. So Arike, I'll take an Arike down year any day. But I think she's figuring out how to play, especially with this young core. And her leadership is about to go to another level because she really is like the only veteran on that team that's playing a lot. Maddie Seacrest has been out. Ty Harris is out for the season. Lee's age is what it is, but this is only her second year in the W. So she's considered a young player as well. So I'm excited. I've been saying it all year to see Arike's leadership go to another level. And I think now that they have the pieces out that obviously didn't want to be there or they just needed a change, I think Arike can step into that leadership role 100%. So I do predict Dallas could turn a corner, but who knows? I don't know what their schedule looks like, what their difficulty strength of schedule is or not. That makes a difference about how people's trajectories are.
When you say turn a corner, what do you mean?
Win some games. Because what is their record right now? They are...
Okay, so you're not talking the big P, right?
What? What is that? Oh, playoffs? No. We're not talking playoffs. But they are currently
Just making sure.
11th. Yeah, I feel like a team right now, you have 20-plus losses. Your playoff hopes are kind of not there. But again, because they're so young, you have to you're not an old veteran team and you're just all right, we throwing in the towel, da-da-da. This is a time where they can, develop and build for next year. Because technically, because they have all these young players, they're going to be one of the few teams that's not going to have a lot of turnover next season with the new CBA. Because all these young players are locked in still. So if I'm Dallas, I'm just going all into this young group that we have. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players technically that can be under contract next year. So I know if y'all ain't tapped in all the time when we talk about the CBA stuff, but the new CBA would kick in next season. And because of that, almost the entire league signed 1-year contracts last year in free agency, which makes them unrestricted free agents next season. So for example, the Valkyries, because they are an expansion team, I think that they have 0 players signed for next year. Oh no, they have 5 or 6. But you have reserved, okay, we're not gonna get into this, but you have reserved contracts, you have people already under contract, and you have restricted free agents, unrestricted free agents. So everybody's gonna be on the move next year anyway. And there's a few teams that will have a good amount of their players still under contract or that can only negotiate with their current teams. And Dallas is one of them. So if I'm Dallas, I'm throwing the season away as far as championship, obviously, but I'm going to try and build some type of foundation for next year because they got solid pieces and then make it an attractive place for free agents. That's the next layer of it. Make sure your team is good. And then the next layer is make it a place that other players are like, oh, Dallas looks kind of cool. I want to go try and help them win. And a lot of teams don't do that. So again, Dallas youth movement. Shout out to Paige.
That's what feels a little bit like what Indiana was going for.
Yeah. And we saw that worked out. But they actually have figured it out. They're currently on a 5-game winning streak.
Even without Caitlyn Clark, the Fever have caught fire thanks to a few new additions. Lexie, what have you been seeing from the Fever? As you mentioned, you guys took a little L.
Yep.
To the Fever.
Mm-hmm.
So
to the Fever.
What happened in that?
They just play. They play fast as hell. Like on makes, on misses, they're running the ball down your throat. So that's something that we struggle with a little bit. We're second to last in pace. If we're not second to last, we're like bottom 3 or 4 teams in pace. So we play teams that like to push the ball. We struggle a little bit. Ari McDonald has come in, has just taken advantage of this opportunity, this moment. I've always been so high on Ari. I loved playing with her in LA, so I'm glad that she's getting a new opportunity. They switched up their starting lineup a little bit. They put Sophie Cunningham in the starting lineup, and she's been playing extremely well for them as of late. And Kelsey Mitchell, of course. Y'all already know how I feel about Kelsey Mitchell. Most underrated player in the entire league. She's definitely having a first-team All-WNBA type season. If not first team, absolutely second team. And she's really just carried a lot of the scoring load ever since Caitlyn got hurt. And we're watching Aaliyah Boston turn into a very multifaceted post player. Like she can pass, she can defend, she can guard. She's shooting threes now. So she's becoming a problem. And yeah, they beat us. And it was a close game. It was a good game. But, the Fever are trending upwards. And that Commissioner's Cup kind of has boosted them in the right direction. And now they are definitely absolutely in playoff contention despite their record. So, they're going the right way. They're going the right direction. They're going up.
It's very dangerous when a team that has a star that talented can perform even when they're not around, because it says something about the team and the balanced team effort that they're able to play with. And so I think just like the Fever were scary, we talked about them in our preseason episode, the moves that they made in the offseason, all of the things that they did to put themselves in playoff contention this year. Caitlyn being out and them still holding down the fort makes all of those moves and all of those things that have happened to the Fever so far even scarier, because we had them in playoff contention with her, but them performing without her, that makes them terrifying.
No, absolutely. And you have a player like Caitlyn Clark chilling on the bench, and I didn't even talk about Natasha Howard, what she's added to the team defensively. And, you'll look up and she'll have like 20 points. You're like, when did she score 20 points? But that's like just the type of player she is. She impacts the game in so many ways, and she doesn't really get, the accolades or the attention that, some of her other players get that play in the same position as her. But I don't think Natasha Howard has even gotten enough credit for what she's brought to that team. So, we all love when Caitlyn is healthy, when she's playing, but there's no timetable for her return. So as long as they're in playoff contention, I think that she's going to probably continue to take her time getting back. So she will be available being healthy during playoffs. And whoever is matched up to the Fever first round with a healthy Caitlyn Clark and a rested one at that, she's not even going to be healthy. She's going to be healthy and rested. Good luck. Good luck.
You mentioned the Valkyries when we were talking a couple points ago, but I wanted to mention that Kayla Thornton is out for the season with an injury. The Valkyries are losing one of their key vets just as they were gaining momentum and eyeing a potential playoff run as a expansion team. Lexie, what is your reaction to this news?
I was really bummed out because she was having an all-star season. She was an all-star, which was amazing. And the Valkyries were absolutely overachieving at the moment. I think they're still overachieving now. I think this is a great opportunity for Tiff Hayes to step up. Xana Lassini is a very underrated scorer in this league as well. And I think that their strength has just been how deep they are and how many different players can contribute to their games. Like they don't have anybody now. Kayla Thornton out. They don't have anybody that's averaging more than 12 points a game. But they have they have like 3 players averaging 8. They got like 3 players averaging 9. They got like 4 players averaging 10 plus. So like they have a very, this is literally the definition of a balanced team. But then you look at I'm about to show y'all if y'all are watching on video, like this is all the players that they've had this season. So they've gone through a lot of changes. It's like 20-something names on here on their roster for the year. So they've gone through a lot of ups and downs. They're dealing with injuries right now. And I think this is a great opportunity for Tiff Hayes to step up. She's healthy. Veronica Burton's had a very solid season. I got her as my most improved player, which we'll also get into later about, other postseason awards. But I think they still can surprise a lot of teams. And I think however this season ends for them, up to this point, this season for them has been an absolute success. So if they get to the playoffs, that will just be a cherry on top, in my opinion.
Also, they spent the whole season channeling this sixth woman mantra. Kayla said herself, we're a team full of sixth women. And that is a really interesting mentality for a team to have because it takes the ego out of everything, especially with them being new. And as we've been talking about all season, they don't really have any expectations because they've never existed before.
Right.
And it's a whole new system and a whole new team. But with them all having this mentality, we're going in here, we're all six women, nobody's the head of the snake kind of thing. As they say, that there's always a head of the snake, but they're going in with that sort of mentality.
Right.
So with her being out, maybe they'll adopt that and everybody will pitch in where they can.
Yeah, I mean, just the way Kayla plays, like there's not a person on that roster that plays like her. And so not one person is going to come in and fill in what she does, what she does defensively, how she rebounds the ball, her energy. Not one person is going to come in and be like, okay, I'm Kayla's replacement. Like, let's go. It's going to be a group effort, I think. They have Monique Billings, who's out right now battling an ankle injury, and that's a big loss for them too. Her energy that comes off the bench. So if they can stay above 500, which they're rated at 500 right now, 14-14, I think they're going to be in great position to make the playoffs. So they're right behind Vegas, who's 15-14, and right above Washington, who's 13-15. So they're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're in 8th place right now. 7th place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8th place. 8th place right now. So just right on the cusp of playoffs. So again, they've had a successful year for sure.
Speaking of successful teams, but a little bit of confusion that I might need you to clear up for me. The New York Liberty. Okay. So obviously they have some missing pieces, but they have been dropping some games to lower ranked teams after losses to both the Sun and the Wings. They've been showing some cracks with injuries and fatigue seeming to take their toll. Lexie, what are you noticing from the Liberty?
I think you said it, the injuries. Stewie is such a huge piece of this team, and her being out is killer to them, honestly. And then even Kennedy Burke, the way she had been playing this entire season prior to getting injured, like she was like their X factor, the way she could post up, shoot threes, defend multiple positions. I think they actually might, obviously they're missing what Stewie brings because she's Stewie, but I think what they're really missing is what Kennedy Burke brought to the table. She's just a very versatile player. And the more versatile players you have in this league, the better. And I think the Liberty is probably one of the most versatile teams in the league between JJ, now Emma, Steph Talbot, Breanna Stewart, and Kennedy Burke. Like those are players that can shoot the ball, guard multiple positions, pass, defend. Like when you take that away, there's going to be some cracks and holes, and you're seeing that. But again, Connecticut is like one of those teams that sneaks up on you because you look at their record and you're like, okay, whatever. But when you play a team that literally has nothing to lose and you still have a Hall of Famer in Tina Charles on your team and a potential all-star in Marina Mabrey, like they always have a chance to win games, and they can score the ball. Their issue has been their defense. Like we all know, like their defense has been their Achilles heel, but they can score the ball. So they've been catching some teams slipping. Only 5 of them. They only have 5 wins, but the Liberty, they'll be fine. They just need to get healthy. They're still 18-10, sitting comfortably in 2nd place. So I think, again, they're another team that just needs to make it to playoffs and get healthy, and I think they'll be fine.
Let's talk about the dream. So, Ollie Sugar.
Now you're back happy about the dream now.
Welcome back, everybody. Alicia Gray and Naz Hillman have led the Dreams surge. Atlanta has won 5 of their last 6 without Ryan Howard. And Alicia has been playing at an all-NBA, WNBA level. And Naz is entering the 6th player of the year conversation. Lexie, I feel like there keeps being a moment where I need to be humbled when it comes to Atlanta, or be like, okay, this is where the team is supposed to sit. But it seems like this is becoming the norm. So
it is. I mean, last week I talked about them briefly. How great Naz has been playing. I think that she's going to win 6th player of the year. I look through all of the other teams, and there's not really any other player that is doing what she's doing off the bench right now. So I think right now that's her award to lose. She's a great spark for them off the bench. Their style of play, it's been interesting to see the ebbs and flows of their offense and their season with how many outside shots they want to take. And then you have Bree Jones and Brittany Griner in the paint. Ryan Howard is a great player, all-star level player, but her injury has given more shots to Bree and Brittany Griner. She, despite having not a great 3-point shooting percentage for the season, she was still getting up like almost 11 per game, which was a lot. That's a lot of threes per game. So you take that away, and those shots have gone to Brittany Griner and Bree Jones, and they found like a nice balance between outside play and inside play. Leash is averaging 19, 6, and 4. I'm throwing her an MVP conversation. Like we said, it's Fee's MVP award to lose at the moment. But if I had to put more players into that, which we'll also talk about later, Leash is absolutely in that conversation. And they're playing well. And Jordan Canada being healthy and back has definitely helped them. She's a great point guard. She's a great floor general, making sure everybody gets their shots where they need them. So yeah, they're another team trending absolutely in the right direction. And I don't know do we know what Ryan's timetable for return? I feel like everybody's out and there's no timetable for return. Everyone's just kind of like, you know what, we'll just see.
Right. All we know is that Nafisa Collier is going to be out for 2 weeks. Well, that's what they're saying with the sprain. But I mean, I guess it could be longer. But right now they're saying 2 weeks. But it feels like a lot. Everybody else is kind of up in the air.
Everybody else. Everyone's like, we'll let y'all know when we feel like it. And I'm like, okay, is that what we're doing now?
And these are big pieces that are hurt. Like Nafisa Collier, Brianna Storr, Caitlyn Clark, Ryan Howard. These are really impactful players to these teams.
Right, exactly. So everyone just being like, okay, we'll let y'all know. I'm like, okay, like that's not what we want to hear.
Kayla Thornton. Sorry, I forgot about her.
Yeah, Kayla Thornton. Satu, I think, is out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? And it's, as long as everyone just needs to get healthy for playoffs. So we got 5 more weeks left of the season. So everyone just needs to make sure that they're healthy. It is that
doomsday part of the season.
Yeah.
Post All-Star break, things are taking a toll. The load is taking a toll on these stars.
Trade deadline, which is Thursday.
Everybody having to switch jerseys. I keep seeing people saying, I need to stop buying my favorite player's jersey. I have a friend that has
I don't know why people buy jerseys.
Different DiJonai Carrington jerseys. Don't say that.
Don't say
that. What?
I don't buy jerseys. And if I do buy a jersey, it's like a throwback, just timeless jersey. Like that's going to be whatever team this person's on, it doesn't matter because this jersey was like one of them ones. But like as far as like, oh, I like this player, I would get the jersey. Never. Because you never know what happens in sports.
What's funny?
What?
I skipped this, but a jersey that I feel like you would like to, purchase at some point in the future or whatever. A jersey I feel like you will have some respect for is the possible new Boston team's jersey. I don't know. The Connecticut Sun were sold and possibly are relocating to Boston. And Lexie loves the Celtics.
I love the Celtics. And I wonder, even though the sale hasn't officially gone through yet, man, if I could play in Boston, that would be like the craziest thing ever. And then last year when the Sparks played in Boston, I didn't get to go because I wasn't traveling. So I was sick about that. Like I had that game circled on the calendar, and the fact that I didn't even get to go, like whatever, I didn't play, but I didn't even get to go and experience it. So that was a bummer for me. But having a team in Boston would be so fire. they had a game last year, like I just said, with the Sparks. This year, the Connecticut Sun had a game there as well. And the vibes were high. The arena was full. I think Boston really wants a WNBA team. And Boston has such a rich basketball culture. And I think it's time. I think it's time. Connecticut has been there for a while. They weren't able to win the championships when they were supposed to, quote unquote. So it's like sometimes you just need to like rip the Band-Aid off.
And the speculation is that if the sale does go through to the Boston Celtics minority owner, that the Sun will be moving to Boston after the season. So they're moving very quickly. I'm looking forward to see what happens.
Me too, because that would be so fire. And respectfully, traveling to Connecticut is horrible. It's a hard road trip.
No, real. I hate Connecticut. No shade. And I'm not talking about the team, but Connecticut, the place. Hate Connecticut.
It's tough.
Ain't nothing there.
There's nothing there. When you play in Mohegan, like you're stuck in the casino. Like at least in Vegas, there's still like you can leave the casino and there's a bunch of stuff to do. You can leave the strip and go do stuff. In Connecticut, like you're stuck in there. In that dark casino.
And it's hard to make that a free agency destination. You talked about when a team goes young or a team's in a rebuilding phase, you start with that and then you start trying to accumulate some wins here and there where you can. And then you start trying to make it more of a free agency destination so people will want to come, more stars will want to come. And it's going to be really hard for them to do that.
Especially now with these new expansion teams as well. Like they don't really stand a chance in my opinion.
Right.
I don't care how much money you guys have. Times is different. Times are different now. I think when I said that front offices were being more intentional about putting teams together, I did think that. I did not think that about all of the teams. As we're seeing now, a lot of front offices are like undoing things that they did in free agency that they thought maybe were going to work. I think players now are more intentional with where they want to go play because of the opportunities off the court, because of the brands people are building. You're not going to bring a star to Connecticut. Like, you're just not. So I feel like the more they look at it in that perspective, like I think Connecticut, they're historic. They've been there for a while. They had that really great window of time of getting to the playoffs, getting to the finals and all this other amazing things that they accomplished. But sometimes you just have to pivot, and just the way sports and women's sports is going, like you have to have attractive cities, you have to have attractive facilities, you have to have attractive social media, all that stuff. It's like so many layers to everything now. So I think them going to Boston would be such a good move. So we're going to keep our eye on that because it's not official yet. So we're going to keep our eye on it.
Right. Well, staying in the not West. Look at me. Y'all, it's been a long week and it's only Tuesday. Staying on the East Coast, the New York Liberty have signed 2019 Finals MVP Emma and waived second-year guard Jalen Sherrod to create a roster spot. Lexie, I know you had thoughts about this.
So upset. I mean, happy that Emma's back in the league. Don't get me wrong. Emma Miesemann, but like when Emma Miesemann is playing, that's good. But for a player like Jalen, helped them win a championship last year. Great person. She played in AU. She was incredible, was getting better, was actually getting a little bit of burn this season with the Liberty. For her to just have to get waived because of a roster spot being needed over halfway through the season, like, I hate that. Like, you can't point your fingers at anybody because you don't know what goes on in these front offices and the conversations that are had. But the fact that you can do everything that a team asks you to do, show up as a professional, do your job, and they can just be like, you know what? We want this player instead. Bye. Hate that. And I just read a quote from the coach from the Liberty, and she was hurt that she had to waive Jalen. But again, she's like, we just don't have the spots to focus on player development for young players. And that's something, well, I feel like every episode we circle back to the CBA some way, shape, or form.
It's important. It's the guiding force to the entire league.
It's like these young players, like you're like I said, you're either all into the youth or you're all out. Like there's no in between, and we don't have enough spots to prioritize player development because also we don't even have enough time. And then in the off season, you're not even around your team or your coaches. So really, it's like there really is no point to keep young players around to develop them because outside of our training camp to the season, that's the only time you see them. So again, like I said last week, when the CBA negotiations, if we pay you more money, you're not able to play in the other leagues anymore because then we want y'all to prioritize the W 100%. But if I don't have a gym or facility or staff to work with, it's 365. Why would I do that? Like that doesn't make sense.
I also want to add job security because yes, if you don't have the facility and all of those things, it's impossible for you to commit to the WNBA full time. However, it does seem like there's a job security sort of issue as well with people having these contracts that are seemingly locked in. And when the New York Liberty have an opportunity to go get a former finals MVP and a player that they really want in Emma Meesman, and they have a player that does really contribute and is doing her job, they have to let her go. And so it puts you in a position where they can't really take away that right from all of the players to participate in out of the season leagues and different things off the court and commit solely to the W when there's still this job security issue. Something has to change with that.
It's so crazy because it's like you have the deadline of being able to waive players. And we have now seen multiple players get waived that have protected contracts because these teams have cap space to do it. So instead of building a team or making a trade that makes sense because the money matches up, which is very hard to do, by the way, they just bring in a player and then they're like, oh, we have cap space, so we're just going to waive that player because we can afford it. Like, yes, they're getting their money, good for them, but now you're out of the league. You're out of a job. Maybe missed out on an opportunity elsewhere. Like, it's bad. And yeah, you're like, hey, like the Liberty got better. They got Meesman. But really, that happened because she didn't pick Minnesota. She ain't pick Phoenix. So you have a bunch of players whose careers are in the balance of one person's decision of where they want to go play for half the year. And again, this is no shade to anybody, but like I said, I've been the victim of this type of business practices in the WNBA. So Emma was between Minnesota, Phoenix, and the Liberty. And she picked the Liberty. So now you have a domino effect. So, okay, oh damn, we ain't gonna get Emma. All right, we're gonna get DiJonai then. Okay, now Carly and Diamond get traded. Now Carly's waived. Like, domino effect. And I feel like I just have empathy for these situations. One, because that's how I was raised. I'm a very empathetic person, unfortunately. I feel like I'm in the wrong career sometimes with how deeply I feel for other people's situations. Even though sometimes they don't have anything to do with me, I just don't like seeing people dealing with shitty situations because I've been in a plethora of shitty situations, but have managed to make my way out of them despite what's going on around me. But I mean, I hate it for Jalen. I really do. And I think a lot of people felt the same way, honestly, even her own coaches and front office. Like she didn't just get a thank you post. She got a few posts. Like her being a champion, she got a little highlight. Like, oh my God, I hate those thank you posts, Mariah. I hate them.
I know.
I hate them. I don't think I've ever reposted one either. I'm like, don't thank me.
I never thought about how athletes must feel about those. They are horrible.
Don't thank me, bro. Don't thank me for anything.
And being on the Atlanta Hawks social team, I've had to make those a few times. And it's funny because it's a template in Photoshop that they have. And you just that just says thanks, comma, and you insert. And I don't even have to go pick a picture of you. I have the whole roster right here, and I click. Oh,
that is
let's
sick,
get rid of
Mariah.
this person. Let's select DiJonai.
It's like Survivor.
Yeah. It's horrible. And we're all at the office. Oh, DiJonai Carrington's gone. DiJonai Carrington's gone. Get the thank you graphic up ASAP.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Okay. I mean, we're on the subject of trades right now, so we're just gonna address the elephant in the room of Lexie Brown's life right now, that we just traded Alicia Clark and Zaya for Brittany Sykes, which, let me tread lightly here. Very excited that Sykes is coming. She's a great player. I play with her in LA, all-star, averaging 15, 3, and 4 right now. Great defender, but doesn't shoot a lot of threes, which, I mean, if y'all been watching us, that tracks with the way we play basketball. For a player like me in the situation I'm currently in, I just have like more question marks about what I need to bring to the team. As a player, I know what I need to bring as a teammate. Duh. Like that's the easy part. They've now brought in 2 more guards on our team. So me being a guard, that really hasn't gotten much opportunity. I'm just kind of like, okay, well, what now? Like, what do y'all want me to do? So as excited as I am, always excited to add like a veteran piece, especially someone that I know and care about a lot. That's great. But like from a personnel point of view, like I've now been like leapfrogged by now 2 players that they've brought in late. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to show up and be a professional, and I'm going to show up and produce when I get the opportunities. I mean, y'all have seen like my opportunities are all over the place, but I just come in and do my job and don't fuck up. That's really all I can do at the moment. Really sad about AC leaving. Like that was someone I was really close with. She played in AU last year. She's going to play again this year. So we built a relationship then. And I'm super sad about Zaya. I felt like she was finally finding her footing, getting comfortable. And unfortunately, she got waived by the Mystics. So this is another example of collateral damage in this league of someone that does everything you ask, you know, shows up, does their job, and some things don't work out and you kind of just get thrown into the mix. And now she doesn't have a job. So I don't know. It's been an interesting few days, honestly. And for me, I just want to show up and be the best teammate I can be. But it's been like a lot going on, honestly.
Yeah, I treading lightly with this topic. I do want to say that I feel as though in professional sports, not just in your situation, but generally, especially in the WNBA, as I grow more in covering the league and talking to players and being around these situations, I feel like there can be this aspect of, which when you first got to Seattle, I feel like that was very much there. You spoke about your very specific role. Everyone had a very specific role that they were told. But it feels like, especially this WNBA season, that across the board, that has been kind of all over. Players who thought their role was secure on their team getting waived or traded and then waived, and room being made for pieces that when the season started and we were making our plan for the season, how we're going to go about things, weren't even a thought for our roster, and things becoming very, okay, it's the middle of the season, but it feels very like frazzled. I don't know if there's some way that players can be protected in that way in the CBA, or if it's a coaching thing, like coaches taking the time to make sure every player knows what their role is when they come into work every day, putting y'all in a position to succeed so that those things don't happen, or you could do what you can to avoid those situations where you're out of a job or confused or like unhappy in your situation. But it feels like, number one, that there's a lack of opportunity because of roster spots. Hopefully that improves with the added teams, expansion teams. But I don't know. In high school sports, or college sports, it feels like, at least back in the day when they couldn't just like trade college players and players couldn't just leave, they kind of had to foster and develop you because they're stuck with you for a while.
Exactly.
But so I feel like professional sports could use a little more of that.
So on that note, when you say they're stuck with you for a little while, the last like 2 or 3 years, players have been signing like 1-year contracts. So once that gets out of the way, like we're not going to see that again for a while, hopefully. The only reason why all this random movement is happening is because players are not locked in for the following season, which is why I always am saying these teams, y'all think this is crazy. Your favorite team is going to be broken up next year probably too with this new CBA. So
100%.
We got to bring back these 2, 3, 4-year contracts, because that's going to prevent a lot of this random moving around and last minute moving around kind of stuff. Because, yeah, you're going to be locked in with this player for multiple years. Like me, for example, I'm stuck with a 2-year contract on a team that I didn't sign the 2-year contract for. So I'm probably not considered a movable piece. Even though in the back of my mind, ever since, things have gotten a little shaky here, I've always been, am I getting moved? That's something that I constantly think about just because of my past experiences in the league. So even when all this started going down with AC, I'm just like, okay, AC's like GM, me. I know what AC's contract is. They gonna have to ask someone else in that. Is it gonna be me? That's where my mind was at the last 2 days. So I'm just like you said, it's a lack of job security. And how can you come into your job every day and you do what they ask you to do and they're still like, okay, you can go. How do you expect people to want to show up and come to work? I'm not saying I'm not doing
there
that.
Has to be
I'm
more
coming to work every day and doing what I need to
that.
do. But yeah, I think that it's going to be a lot easier to protect players with these multi-year contracts that hopefully will be coming with the next CBA. But like I said, you technically can't waive players after a certain date. But if teams have cap space and they want to waste the money, they can. No one can stop them from doing that. So some teams have the power to do that and some teams don't. But you just have to figure it out, unfortunately. But I mean, like I said, new CBA, a lot of work to do. That is so beyond salaries. Salaries is the most obvious glaring issue, but there's so many other things that I hope that we're able to address with these negotiations because this season has been ridiculous, in my opinion. I know all the fans are like, what is going on? And I understand. I understand y'all, because what is going on?
It has been a lot. And the off season is going to be even more. So y'all better get ready.
Get ready.
But
buckle up.
Let's talk. Oh, yeah. Speaking of buckling up, let's talk playoff picture. This is our final segment of the day, but we have to talk about a little playoff update. How are the current standings comparing to your preseason expectations, Lexie? I know the Valkyries have a shot at being the first expansion team to ever make the playoffs. Lots of things are awry, but what are your thoughts?
I think outside of Golden State overachieving and Vegas underachieving to most people's expectations, this is basically what I thought the playoff picture would look like. Minnesota and New York on the top. Atlanta has kind of been a pleasant surprise. We said Phoenix was going to be really good when we did our preseason show. Our team has a question mark next to it, but we still are 16 and 13 and have a lot of games to play. And we're only a few games away from second place, but we're also a few games away from out the playoffs. So it's I keep saying that we're having pivotal moments of our season. And it's because so many other teams are slowly crashing out, it seems like. We're not there yet. I hope we never get there. I don't think we're going to get there. But again, tonight against Minnie is a huge opportunity for us. We have Phoenix. I think we have Phoenix next. I think they said we have the hardest schedule from now till the end of the season. So it's great time for us to get prepared for the playoffs. And it's a great time for us to finally solidify our identity, which for us right now, our identity is inconsistency, unfortunately. We're number 2 in defense, but we're last in rebounding. So that's kind of counterintuitive to how you play. You're getting stops, but you don't get rebounds. You're getting stops, you don't finish plays. We're also at the bottom of offensive rebounds. So we don't provide extra possessions for our team. So that puts a lot of pressure on our half-court offense. And when we have the pace that we have, which I said is at the bottom of the league, there's just a lot of pressure on scoring the ball at a high level. And some nights, that's not going to happen. So we have been able to hang our hat on defense, but we have to marry the two together. We'll have 60 points one game, then we'll have 100, then we'll have 55, then we'll have 95. It doesn't make sense.
Which is really interesting because I feel offensively, you hear about that a lot as we talk about all the time, to live by the 3, die by the 3 teams, and y'all aren't that.
No. I'm y'all know me. I'm sitting on a bench what is going on? Yesterday, 2 days ago, we scored 95 points. I look up, we have 15 points in the second quarter. I'm okay, we need to figure that out because we have enough scoring and talent on our team for us to not consistently be scoring under 70 points per game. But I will say, Nneka has played out of her freaking mind since All-Star break. And she
37-point double OT game.
Yeah. So she's just been our everything. And honestly, Skylar's going to do her thing. She's our, emotional leader. But we all collectively got to pick it up and match their energy because, like, the time to win is now. And I think even adding Sykes, like, if y'all have watched Sykes at all, like, she is passionate. She plays hard as shit. Like, she's someone who's absolutely going to match that energy. So, despite of what, her coming to the team does for my role, I'm still excited for her to be here because I want to go to the playoffs. So whatever we got to do to get to the playoffs, I'm for it. And I'm just going to show up in whatever way they need me to. But, I mean, we're still in the playoffs.
You're a professional and you want to win.
I want to win. I want to win another championship because winning one was so much fun. It was great. And yeah, so I think the standings are not really a shock to anybody that has been paying close attention to the league. I will say, like, LA, I feel like could sneak in and get that 7 or 8 spot. And I feel like whoever matches up with Vegas or LA first round, that's going to be a tough series.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
I also feel like as far as I'm looking at when it comes to the playoff picture, I just want to note the fact that a lot of the best teams are without their best player right now.
Yep.
That is, I mean, the top 2 teams that we were talking about being contenders before the season even started are both without their best player.
Almost every team is without their best player except for us. Well, I mean, we're not considered a top team
which
right
is an
now.
opportunity for y'all.
Yeah, so like Minnie's out.
But
New York got one of their top players out.
That's something to look at.
The Dream got one of their best players out. Phoenix, I don't know what Satu's status is. And then the Fever, Caitlyn's out. And then you have us.
Because you never know how injuries, like grown injuries are very strange. Sprains, ankle sprains, very strange. You never know how those things are going to heal when you're in a playoff sort of situation. I'm just saying that that's something to be paying attention to because we might think we know exactly what the playoffs are going to look like. We might know what the playoffs, like who's going to be in them. But when we're actually in them, I feel like it's going to be, you're going to have to watch every night to know
You're going to have to
what's
watch every night. I think this is going to be such a good playoffs. Again, we still have 5 weeks left of our regular season. I think y'all got to look. We got to keep an eye out on everybody. I think there's 10 teams that can make the playoffs. Like, you have Dallas, Chicago, and Connecticut who are pretty much like out of the picture for the most part. But everybody else is like 2, 3, 4 games within each other.
Shot.
Yeah. So it's like Minnesota, everybody else for the most part. So it's going to be an exciting last month. There's some change of the season. So y'all stay tapped in with us.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm looking forward to
seeing... Oh my gosh, wait. One more thing to say. I got one more thing to say before we go. Guys, I'm 11 points away from 1,000 career points. So
oh my God.
If I have anything to try and strive for this season, it's to get these last 11 points. That's all I want is 11 more. Coach, I just need 11.
My girl.
I just need 11.
Give my girl a shot.
So I can be like, hey guys, I scored 1,000 points in the WNBA. Like, cool. All I need is 11.
You're going to get a graphic.
Well, at the beginning, I might.
And not a thank you graphic.
Because fuck that thank you graphic. Like, what do y'all want us to say?
That is sending me to the moon.
You're welcome. Like, what? No, I hate them. I hate them. Especially after, like, they did some bullshit. And for them to be like, I know it's not admin's fault. But, like, when I got waived from Minnesota, like, and they said thank you, I wanted to be like, stop it. Y'all could have kept that.
What am I supposed to do? Repost this to my story?
Right. And be like, you're welcome, guys. Please. Okay. Sorry. I had to get that off. But okay, everybody pray for me to get to my 11 points. We have 5 weeks left for me to get 11 points. So thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Full Circle Podcast. We will see y'all next week.
Bye.